Hello, welcome to the Right Women Book Festival. I am Sarah Petrosky, author of The Magic of Making Friends.
I am Christie Sheridan, the illustrator of The Magic of Making Friends.
Thank you for joining us today. We are going to go through some advice that we've heard over the last, year, 2 years about putting a book together, and we're going to tell you what we feel is good advice and what we feel is bad advice. Social media is easy. You don't need to put work in with it. Just promote it amongst your friends and do what you know. Wait, wrong side. That's the wrong paper. It's this one. That somehow got wet. What?
Bad advice.
Definitely bad advice. You can reach way more than your friend group. You can have all the metrics built out for you. You can see who you're reaching and when, and you can also boost posts to reach people that you wouldn't ordinarily have the contact with.
And also make sure that you spend time kind of re-educating yourself on using social media as not just a personal platform, but a business platform. I kind of just dove in assuming that I knew what I was doing because I could share memes and post pictures of my dog. But, when you go on a business page, there's so many other things that you can do and should do. And Facebook especially is always adding new features and, ways to reach target audiences. So you're going to have to really educate yourself on how to use these tools in the best way that you possibly can. There's no shame in saying, I don't know how to use Facebook this way, or I don't know how to use Instagram this way. Just do it, learn it, and it'll be beneficial. I found that YouTube videos helped a lot. There's a ton of people out there who are just itching to make content, and they know how to do these things, and they will teach you the steps to get more likes and reach different audiences and how to publish the best content. So I highly recommend putting the time into learning more about social media.
Great. All right. The next thing is to do your research. It's okay. You can take it which is very clearly good advice. But you need to know your needs before you start researching, because if you just research possibilities, you will never stop reading what you might be able to do. You need to go into it with a mindset of what do I want to accomplish, and then research what gets you there. That's my tip.
Yeah. Always plan ahead, even if you don't know what you're doing. Try to plan a path at least.
So the next tip is self-publish, so you don't have to deal with the rejection of a traditional publisher. Bad advice. If you are going to self-publish, you have to do it because you want to self-publish and not because you're afraid of being rejected by a traditional publisher. Also, if you're afraid of rejection before you even get started, you're really setting yourself up for a hard road, because whether you self-publish or go through a traditional publisher, you're going to have to market yourself to bookstores, to events, to people, the consumers. So if you think a rejection from a publisher is bad, read a really scathing Amazon or Goodreads review and have your heart broken. But you're just going to have to believe what you're doing and your work, and make choices based on what you need and not what you're afraid of.
Yeah, for sure. And I think both sides have, good and bad. If you're self-publishing, you don't have to follow anybody else's rules. You can kind of do your own thing, and, but it is hard. You are kind of, doing it on your own. But yeah, it could be its own little adventure. And so if you're going to do, like Sarah said, if you're going to go into self-publishing, do it because you want to, not because you're afraid of something else. Do it for a good reason, not for a running away negative reason.
So, okay, here we go. The next tip is it's never too early to start marketing.
Oh,
um, so for me, it's about promoting the first book. And if you write a small essay and say, yeah, I'm going to write a book, and a year goes by and you still have a book, or you're plugging, you've built your social media page and you're putting out posts, but you're never backing it up, you begin to lose some credibility, and people are just going to stop paying attention to you. They're not going to put weight on anything that you say. And I think once you lose their focus and confidence, it's gone.
yeah, that is a very good point. I think it's good, to start marketing as soon as you come up with an idea, as long as you have the actions to back it up. Like Sarah said, if you start saying, hey, I'm going to do this thing, and then 6 months later that thing never happens, people you lose accountability and you lose credibility rather. Um, but, I feel like in terms of a second book, now that you already have one thing done and you've proven, hey, I can do this, I've done this, I'm going to do it again. You say, hey, I have a second book on the way. As soon as you have like maybe a couple lines or like a few sketches or something, start putting that stuff out there to kind of, get people thinking about it and people excited about it and all that good stuff. But again, you have to make sure that you back up what you say with action. Don't just put that one page out and then 6 months later be like, got nothing else for you, sorry. So yeah, definitely, I would suggest, at least for your second book or your, after your first book, market yourself as soon as you come up with an idea, but back it up.
Perfect. Don't compare yourself to other illustrators or authors. This is bad advice. While I agree that you should not compare yourself to their success or lack of success, you do need to look at what they're doing, why it's working, where they've found success and why. You definitely have to expose yourself to other people and their work, and compare in a way that benefits you.
Yeah. It's easy to get yourself in a creative bubble, and especially in quarantine times, like it's no joke. Like you need to get out of your own head and see how someone else, approaches this subject or uses this media, or maybe how they just lay out the page. It's good to get out of yourself when you're trying to create something new.
Right. And then the last tip is to read a lot. And that kind of piggybacks on the comparing yourself to others. I think it is very important to read a lot, and expand your worldview and literary view. Again, it's just important to see what other authors or illustrators are doing that is working, and open your mind a little bit. Like if someone has a really cool opening to a story, can you build off that idea in some way that makes it new? I think reading is a great opportunity builder.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. I agree with Sarah on this.
And that is why events like Write Women Book Festival are really important, because you're connecting to authors that you may not have heard of prior to this event. So thank you for the opportunity to participate, and I'm excited about all the people we're going to learn about over the next few days.